The Call to Adventure. In the year 2145, Earth had become a place where technology thrived, and humans could travel to distant planets. Among these brave explorers was Alex Carter, a soldier known for his courage and strong sense of duty. He worked for the Galactic Alliance, a group dedicated to protecting peace across the universe. Although Alex loved his job, he often felt restless, longing for something more than the routine missions he was assigned. One day, as Alex sat in the briefing room, the air felt charged with excitement. His commanding officer, General Harlow, entered the room, a serious expression on his face. The soldiers fell silent, sensing the importance of this meeting. "Listen up, team," he began, his voice steady. "We have a critical mission that requires our best. We need to rescue Princess Lyra of Xantor 7. She has been captured by the Sithrans, a hostile race that wants to use her to gain control of her planet." Alex's heart raced. The name Lyra sent a wave of curiosity through him. Who was this princess? He had heard stories about her beauty and bravery. She was known to be a fierce leader, loved by her people. Now she was in danger, and it was up to Alex and his team to save her. The general continued. "The Sithrans are ruthless and will not hesitate to kill anyone who stands in their way. Your mission is to infiltrate their base and bring the princess back safely. This will not be easy. You will face great danger." The room buzzed with energy as the soldiers exchanged glances, each one aware of the risks but excited about the challenge. Alex felt a mix of fear and determination. He had faced many dangers before, but something about this mission felt different. It was not just about saving a life. It was about saving a symbol of hope for an entire planet. As he thought about Lyra, he imagined her strong spirit and the way she must have been fighting to survive. He wanted to meet her, to see if she was as remarkable as the stories claimed. After the briefing, Alex gathered his gear, preparing for the mission ahead. He would be joined by a small team of skilled soldiers. Each of them had their own strengths, but Alex felt the weight of leadership resting on his shoulders. He was responsible not only for his safety, but also for the princess's life. This thought filled him with both pride and anxiety. As he boarded the spacecraft, Alex gazed out at the stars. They twinkled brightly against the dark sky, reminding him of the endless possibilities that lay ahead. He took a deep breath, calming his nerves. He knew this mission could change everything. If they succeeded, they would not only save a princess, but also forge a connection between their worlds. "Let's go," Alex said to his team, determination fueling his words. They launched into space, leaving Earth behind. The journey to Xantor 7 was long, and Alex's thoughts turned to Lyra. He wondered what she was like and how they would work together. Would she trust him? Could they form a bond in such dangerous circumstances? As the ship sped through the galaxy, Alex felt a spark of hope. He was ready to face whatever challenges awaited him. Little did he know, this mission would not only test his skills as a soldier, but also his heart. The adventure had begun. The alien world. After what felt like an eternity in space, Alex and his team finally arrived at Xantor 7. As the ship descended through the atmosphere, Alex looked out the window, his eyes wide with wonder. Below them lay a world full of vibrant colors. The landscapes were unlike anything he had ever seen. Lush green forests, tall purple mountains, and sparkling blue rivers winding through the valleys. The ship landed smoothly on a grassy clearing. As the door opened, a warm breeze welcomed them, filled with the sweet scent of alien flowers. Alex stepped out, feeling the soft grass under his boots. His team followed, eyes wide with curiosity. They had trained for this mission, but nothing could prepare them for the beauty and strangeness of Xantor 7. Suddenly, a loud noise broke the peaceful atmosphere. It was a growl, deep and menacing. Alex turned to see a group of creatures approaching. They had scales like reptiles and eyes that glowed with an eerie light. The Sithrans had found them. Quickly, Alex raised his weapon, ready to defend his team. "Stay close," he shouted, his heart racing. The creatures lunged forward, and Alex fired his weapon, hitting one of them square in the chest. The creature fell, but others kept coming. With quick movements, Alex and his team fought bravely, using their training to hold off the attackers. After a tense battle, they managed to defeat the Scythrans, but not without realizing the danger that surrounded them. Alex took a deep breath, trying to calm his racing heart. "We need to find Lyra," he urged, scanning the area for any signs of the princess. "Let's move." As they made their way deeper into the forest, the beauty of the planet distracted Alex from the fear. Strange flowers bloomed all around them, their petals glowing softly in the twilight. Birds with colorful feathers flew overhead, singing sweet melodies. It was a magical place, but Alex knew they were not safe yet. After walking for a while, they came across a small village. The homes were built from a shiny, silver material that reflected the light of the setting sun. Alien beings moved about, their skin in shades of blue and green, and their eyes wide with curiosity. When they saw Alex and his team, they paused, whispering among themselves. "Are they friendly?" One of Alex's team members asked, looking nervous. "I hope so," Alex replied, keeping his weapon ready but lowered. He wanted to show that they meant no harm. Suddenly, a tall figure emerged from the crowd. It was a woman, dressed in a flowing gown made of shimmering fabric. Her hair was long and silver, cascading down her back. Alex's breath caught in his throat as he realized this could be Princess Lyra. She approached slowly, her eyes searching theirs. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice strong yet soft. "Why are you here?" "We are here to rescue you," Alex said, stepping forward. "We come from Earth, sent by the Galactic Alliance. We heard you were captured by the Scythrans." Lyra's eyes widened, filled with a mixture of surprise and hope. "You came for me?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. "I thought no one would." "Yes, we did," Alex replied, feeling a connection growing between them. "We need to get you out of here before the Scythrans return." Lyra nodded, her expression turning serious. "Then we must move quickly. The Scythrans will not give up easily." As they prepared to leave the village, Alex felt a surge of determination. With Lyra by their side, they had a chance to defeat the Scythrans and restore peace to her planet. The adventure was just beginning, and he knew it would change everything for him and for Lyra. Together, they would face whatever came next. Building trust. As they moved through the dense forest, Alex and his team stayed close to Princess Lyra. The path was narrow and winding, with towering trees surrounding them. The sounds of the alien world filled the air. Strange birds chirped, and leaves rustled in the gentle breeze. Despite the beauty, Alex's mind was focused on the mission. They had to reach safety before the Scythrans discovered that Lyra had escaped. Lyra led the way, her movements graceful and confident. Alex admired her strength and bravery. He could see why her people loved her so much. Yet he also noticed a hint of fear in her eyes, a reminder that she had been living in captivity for far too long. As they walked, he wanted to show her that he was there to protect her. "Are you okay?" Alex asked softly, falling into step beside her. "We'll get you home soon." Lyra looked at him, her blue eyes brightening. "Thank you, Alex. I appreciate your kindness. I never thought anyone would come for me." Her words warmed his heart. He could sense her trust starting to grow, even if it was still fragile. "You're not alone anymore," he assured her. "We will fight together." As they journeyed deeper into the forest, they reached a small clearing with a stream flowing nearby. The water was crystal clear, and colorful fish darted around. Lyra stopped, looking around with wonder. "I've missed the beauty of my world," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "I used to come here as a child." Alex smiled, realizing how important this place was to her. "Let's take a short break," he suggested. They needed to rest and gather their strength. The team sat on the soft grass, sharing rations and exchanging stories. Lyra told them about her life before her capture, sharing tales of her family and her dreams for her planet. She spoke with passion, describing how Xantar 7 was rich in culture and history. As she spoke, Alex listened intently, feeling the bond between them grow stronger. He shared stories of Earth, his family, and the missions he had completed. Lyra found his tales fascinating, especially the technology and culture of his world. "Your world sounds amazing," she said, her eyes sparkling. "I would love to visit one day." Alex chuckled. "And you will. Once we free your people, I promise you can visit Earth." They shared smiles, but Alex felt a weight on his heart. He knew the dangers still lurked around them, and they couldn't forget about the Scythrans. As they finished their meal, Alex decided it was time to talk about their plans. "Lyra, we need to talk about how to defeat the Scythrans," he said, his tone serious. "Do you have any allies we can trust?" Lyra nodded, her expression shifting to one of determination. "Yes, I know a group of resistance fighters who oppose the Scythrans. They can help us reclaim my throne." Alex felt a surge of hope. "That's great. We can gather forces and plan our next move." "But," Lyra added, her voice cautious, "not everyone will be friendly. Some may not trust outsiders like you." "I understand," Alex replied. "But I hope they will see that we are on the same side. We all want peace for your planet." Lyra smiled, and for the first time, Alex felt a true connection between them. It was more than just a mission. It was a partnership built on trust. As they prepared to leave the clearing, Alex looked at Lyra with renewed determination. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, and together, they would fight for her home. With a shared purpose, they set off toward the resistance, ready to reclaim her world from the Scythrans. The adventure was far from over, but now they had each other. The chase. The sun began to set behind the tall purple mountains, casting long shadows across the forest as Alex, Lyra, and the team made their way toward the resistance fighters. The air was thick with tension, and Alex could feel it in his bones. They had to move quickly. The Scythrans would soon realize Lyra was missing and come after them. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed through the trees. It was followed by the sound of heavy footsteps crashing through the underbrush. Alex's heart raced. "They found us," he shouted. "We need to run." Without waiting for a response, Alex grabbed Lyra's hand, pulling her along as he sprinted into the thick forest. His team followed closely behind, adrenaline pumping through their veins. The branches whipped against their faces as they darted through the trees, the sounds of pursuit growing louder behind them. "Which way?" Lyra gasped, glancing back over her shoulder. Fear flickered in her eyes, but there was also a fire of determination. She was not going to let her people down. "Just keep running," Alex urged, leading them deeper into the woods. He could hear the Scythrans shouting, their voices harsh and angry. He pushed forward, knowing they had to put distance between themselves and their pursuers. As they ran, Alex's mind raced with thoughts. He knew they couldn't keep this pace forever. They had to find a way to hide or fight back. Suddenly, he spotted a narrow path leading down a hill. "This way," he called, directing the team to follow him. The path was steep and slippery, but they had no choice. They needed to escape. As they descended, Lyra stumbled, nearly falling. Alex quickly reached out, catching her before she hit the ground. "I've got you," he said, his grip firm but gentle. He could feel her pulse racing beneath his fingers, and he understood her fear. They reached the bottom of the hill and found themselves at the edge of a small river. The water flowed swiftly, its surface sparkling under the fading light. "We need to cross," Alex said, scanning the area for the safest spot. "If we can get to the other side, we might lose them." Without hesitation, he waded into the water, feeling the cold rush around his legs. Lyra followed, and soon the rest of the team joined them. The current was strong, but they pushed through, determined to reach the opposite bank. As they emerged from the water, they heard the Scythrans shouting again, their voices growing closer. "Hurry," Alex urged, and they scrambled up the muddy bank. Just as they reached the top, they heard a loud splash behind them. The Scythrans had arrived at the river's edge, weapons raised and ready to fire. "We need cover," Lyra cried, looking around frantically. Alex spotted a cluster of large rocks nearby. "Over there," he shouted, leading the way as they dashed toward the rocks. They crouched behind the stones, breathing heavily. Alex peered around the edge, watching as the Scythrans scanned the area, searching for them. "They won't stop until they find us," he said, his voice low. Lyra's eyes shone with determination. "Then we have to fight," she said firmly. "I will not go back to them. We must defend ourselves." Alex nodded, admiring her bravery. "All right, but we need a plan. We can't let them surround us." As they took a moment to gather their strength, Alex felt a growing connection with Lyra. They were in this together, and he would do everything in his power to protect her. He glanced at his team, all ready to fight, fueled by their desire for freedom. The sound of footsteps grew louder as the Scythrans approached their hiding place. Alex took a deep breath, steeling himself for what was to come. It was time to turn the tables. They were not just running anymore. They were ready to fight back. "On my signal," Alex whispered, his heart pounding with anticipation. The chase had turned into a battle, and they were determined to win. Together, they would face whatever danger came their way. The conflict. The tension in the air was thick as Alex and his team crouched behind the rocks, listening to the Scythrans searching for them. The enemy's voices echoed around them, growing closer with every passing moment. Alex felt a knot of anxiety tighten in his stomach. They were outnumbered and outgunned. He glanced at Lyra, who was peering out from behind the rock, her expression a mix of fear and determination. "Alex," she whispered, her voice shaky, "what if they find us? I can't go back to them. I won't." Alex met her gaze, seeing the fire in her eyes. "We won't let that happen, Lyra. We'll fight," he replied, trying to reassure her. But deep inside, doubt gnawed at him. Could they really defeat the Scythrans? As the Scythrans moved closer, Alex's team exchanged worried glances. The weight of the mission pressed heavily on their shoulders. They had come to rescue the princess, but now they faced a battle that could end in disaster. "I can't let them take you back," Alex said, his voice firm. "You mean too much to your people. You're their hope." Lyra's eyes softened, and for a moment, the fear faded. "And you are my hope," she replied, her voice steady. "If we are going to fight, we must do it together. Trust is important." Her words struck a chord in Alex's heart. He had always believed in the power of teamwork, but this was different. Lyra's life depended on their actions, and the stakes had never been higher. "All right, let's make a plan," he said, his mind racing with ideas. As they huddled together, Alex quickly outlined their strategy. "We can use the terrain to our advantage. We'll ambush them as they come through the trees. Lyra, if you can use your knowledge of the area, we can create traps." Lyra nodded, her confidence returning. "I know this land well. There are roots and vines that can trip them up. If we can lead them into the forest, we might stand a chance." With a renewed sense of purpose, the team prepared for the confrontation. They gathered branches and vines, setting up makeshift traps around their hiding spot. Every sound made them jump. Every rustle of leaves heightened their nerves. But they stayed focused, determined to protect Lyra and each other. As they finished setting up, the Scythrans drew nearer. Their voices were loud and aggressive, filled with the desire to recapture Lyra. "She can't have gone far," one of them shouted. "Search every inch of this area." Alex took a deep breath, signaling his team to get ready. Lyra's heart raced beside him, and he could see the fear return to her eyes. "Stay strong," he whispered, squeezing her hand. "We'll fight for our lives." Then, without warning, the first Scythran stepped into the clearing, oblivious to the traps they had set. "Now!" Alex shouted, and they sprang into action. The moment was chaotic. Alex leaped out from behind the rocks, charging at the Scytheran with his weapon raised. At the same time, his team flanked the enemy from the sides, catching them by surprise. The traps worked perfectly. One of the Scytherans fell into a tangle of vines, unable to move. Lyra, filled with adrenaline, joined the fight. She grabbed a stick and swung it at the nearest Scytheran, surprising him. "I won't go back," she yelled, her voice fierce. The battle raged on, with each side fighting hard. Alex could feel his heart pounding in his chest as he dodged attacks, his focus entirely on protecting Lyra. Every move was a dance of survival. But then, in the midst of the chaos, a sinking feeling hit him. What if they were fighting not just for their lives, but for something deeper? He glanced at Lyra, and in that moment, he realized how much he had come to care for her. She was not just a mission. She was someone worth fighting for. As the conflict continued, Alex knew that their fate hung in the balance. They were not just fighting for survival, but for a future where Lyra could lead her people, where peace could return to Xantor 7. The battle was far from over, but he felt a surge of hope. Together, they would face whatever came next. New allies. The battle raged on, and Alex could feel the weight of every moment as he fought against the Scytherans. His heart raced as he dodged their attacks, his focus divided between protecting Lyra and ensuring the safety of his team. The noise of clashing weapons and shouts filled the air, creating a chaotic symphony of conflict. Despite the chaos, Alex felt a strange sense of clarity. He had a mission to complete, and failure was not an option. Just as he parried a blow from a Scytheran, he caught a glimpse of Lyra in action. She moved with grace and determination, striking at their attackers with fierce resolve. It was inspiring to watch. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed from the depths of the forest. Alex paused, confused by the sound. The Scytherans, too, stopped and looked around, their expressions shifting from anger to fear. Alex quickly took advantage of their distraction and charged at the nearest Scytheran, knocking him to the ground. "Keep fighting," he shouted to his team, but his mind was racing. What was that noise? He turned just in time to see a massive creature emerging from the trees. It was unlike anything he had ever seen. Tall and powerful, with thick fur and sharp claws, it let out another roar, and the Scytherans froze in terror. Lyra's eyes widened. "That's a Korthan. They are fierce protectors of the forest." Before Alex could respond, the Korthan charged into the fray, swinging its massive paws and scattering the Scytherans like leaves in the wind. The sight was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. Alex and his team took the opportunity to regroup and push back against the Scytherans, using the Korthan's strength to their advantage. With the Scytherans distracted, Alex glanced at Lyra. "We need to rally the others and find out if this Korthan is on our side," he said, his voice steady despite the chaos around them. "I can communicate with it," Lyra replied, her eyes shining with determination. "If I can get close, I might convince it to help us." Taking a deep breath, Lyra sprinted toward the Korthan. Alex felt a surge of anxiety, but knew he had to trust her. He and his team pressed forward, keeping the remaining Scytherans occupied while Lyra approached the powerful creature. As she got closer, the Korthan paused, its bright yellow eyes focused on her. Lyra raised her hands, showing she meant no harm. "Please, Great Korthan, we need your help. The Scytherans are trying to take me back," she called, her voice clear and strong. The Korthan tilted its head, as if considering her words. Then, to Alex's surprise, it stepped back, giving Lyra space. With a deep breath, she continued, "Together, we can defeat them and protect this forest." At that moment, the Scytherans, realizing the tide of battle was turning, began to retreat. The Korthan roared again, its voice booming across the clearing. It charged after the fleeing Scytherans, its massive form a blur of fur and power. Alex could hardly believe what he was witnessing. The creature had become their unexpected ally. As the last of the Scythrans disappeared into the forest, Lyra returned to Alex, a triumphant smile on her face. "It worked. The Corthan has agreed to help us." "That's amazing," Alex replied, relief flooding through him. "We have new strength on our side. Now we can reach the resistance with their help." Just then, from the trees, a group of Xantorian warriors emerged. They wore dark, leaf-patterned armor and carried spears and bows, ready for battle. Their leader, a tall man with a fierce expression, stepped forward. "We heard the fighting and came to assist. Are you the princess?" Lyra nodded, her confidence shining through. "Yes. Thank you for coming. We need to unite against the Scythrans." The warriors quickly joined their ranks, and together they prepared to move forward. The Corthan remained nearby, standing as a protector, ready to fight. Alex felt a surge of hope. With new allies and strengthened resolve, they were ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. The tide was turning in their favor. They were no longer just a small team. They were part of a growing force, determined to reclaim Xantor 7 and protect Lyra's home. As they set off toward the Resistance's stronghold, Alex glanced at Lyra, who walked beside him, her spirit unbroken. Together, they would create a future of freedom and peace. The big battle. The sun rose over Xantor 7, casting a golden light on the landscape. It was a new day, but for Alex, it felt like the calm before a storm. He stood at the edge of the clearing, watching as the combined forces of Lyra's allies and their new companions, the Xantorian warriors, prepared for battle. The Corthan, a massive protector of the forest, stood beside them, its powerful presence a reminder of their strength. "Today, we fight for freedom," Lyra announced, her voice strong and clear. "We will reclaim our home from the Scythrans. We are not alone. We have each other." The warriors cheered, their voices rising in a chorus of determination. Alex felt a rush of pride. He was not just a soldier from Earth, he was part of something much larger. Together, they would stand against the darkness that threatened their worlds. As the morning light broke through the trees, Alex and Lyra moved to the front line, alongside their allies. He could see the Scythrans gathering in the distance, their numbers large but their morale low after their earlier defeat. The tension in the air was palpable. The time for talk was over. "Stay sharp and follow my lead," Alex instructed his team, gripping his weapon tightly. He glanced at Lyra, who stood beside him, her eyes shining with courage. "Are you ready?" he asked, a mix of concern and admiration in his voice. "I was born ready," she replied, a determined smile on her face. Suddenly, a loud horn blared from the Scythran camp, signaling the start of the battle. The ground trembled as the enemy charged forward, weapons raised and shouts of war echoing through the trees. Alex's heart raced as he felt the adrenaline kick in. "Forward," he yelled, leading the charge. The warriors followed him and Lyra, rushing toward the Scythrans. The Corthan roared, joining the fray, its massive body colliding with the enemy like a force of nature. The clash of metal rang in the air as swords met shields, and the sounds of battle filled the forest. Alex fought with everything he had, dodging blows and striking back with precision. Each swing of his weapon was fueled by the hope of a better future for Lyra and her people. Lyra fought fiercely beside him, her agility allowing her to move swiftly through the chaos. She displayed skill and bravery, rallying her allies with her presence. "Push forward. We can win this," she shouted, her voice cutting through the noise. But the Scythrans were relentless. They fought back with a fierce determination, and Alex felt the tide of the battle shifting. The sheer number of Scythrans was daunting. Just when things seemed darkest, the Corthan charged into a group of enemies, sending them flying. Its strength turned the tide, giving Alex and his team a renewed sense of hope. "Keep pushing," Alex shouted, urging his allies onward. He fought alongside the Xantorian warriors, their teamwork becoming a dance of survival. Together, they pressed against the Scythian lines, breaking through their defenses. As the battle raged on, Alex noticed a group of Scythian leaders directing their forces from a rocky outcrop nearby. "We need to take them out," he shouted to Lyra. "If we can cut off their leaders, we can turn the battle in our favor." Lyra nodded, determination etched on her face. "Let's do it." They sprinted toward the rocky outcrop, dodging attacks from Scythians as they went. The Corthan followed closely, clearing a path through the chaos. When they reached the leaders, Alex and Lyra launched a surprise attack. They fought side by side, working in perfect harmony. In the midst of the chaos, Alex felt a surge of confidence. He knew they could win this battle. With each enemy that fell, the Scythians' morale dwindled. Finally, they took down the last of the leaders, and Alex turned to see the Scythians faltering, confusion spreading through their ranks. "Now is our chance. Push them back," Alex shouted to the warriors, and they followed his lead, attacking with renewed vigor. The Scythians began to retreat, their fear palpable as they saw their leaders fall. Victory was within reach. As the last of the enemy fled, the warriors erupted into cheers, celebrating their hard-fought freedom. Breathless and exhausted, Alex turned to Lyra, who was beaming with pride. "We did it," she exclaimed, her voice filled with joy. "Yes, we did," Alex replied, his heart swelling with hope. They had fought bravely together and won, but the battle was not just for today. It was for a brighter future for Xantor 7. Together, they had created a bond that could not be broken. And with that bond, they would rebuild her world. Decisions. The sun began to set over the horizon, casting a warm orange glow across the battlefield. The sounds of the fight faded away, replaced by cheers and celebrations among the Xantorian warriors and their newfound allies. Alex stood at the edge of the clearing, watching as Lyra embraced her people, tears of joy streaming down her face. They had achieved a great victory, but the weight of the future rested heavily on his shoulders. As the cheers continued, Alex felt a sense of unease. The battle against the Scythians was over, but new challenges lay ahead. He had come to Xantor 7 as a soldier on a mission, but now he was deeply connected to this world and its people. He glanced at Lyra, who was speaking passionately to her warriors about the future of their land. She was a natural leader, and her people were rallying around her. But Alex knew that leadership came with tough decisions. He stepped away from the crowd, seeking a moment of solitude to gather his thoughts. He walked to a nearby tree, its branches heavy with vibrant flowers. The beauty of the scene contrasted sharply with the chaos they had just endured. Alex ran a hand through his hair, trying to clear his mind. He had to decide what came next, not just for him, but for Lyra and her people. As he leaned against the tree, memories of his home flooded his mind. He missed his family and friends, the simple life he had left behind. But in those moments, he felt a connection to Lyra that he had never experienced before. She had become more than just a mission. She was someone he cared about deeply. Would he leave her and return to Earth? Could he really walk away from this world and the people who had come to rely on him? Just then, Lyra approached, her expression serious but warm. "Alex, I'm glad to see you," she said softly. "I was looking for you. I wanted to talk about the future." He nodded, trying to hide his internal struggle. "Of course. There's a lot to consider after what just happened." Lyra took a deep breath, her eyes reflecting the weight of responsibility. "Now that we've defeated the Scythians, we need to rebuild. My people will look to me for guidance. We have a chance to create a new beginning." Alex felt a surge of hope. "You're right. But what does that look like? What do you need from me?" "Your experience could be invaluable," she replied. "You understand strategies and tactics that we might not. I want to unite our people and build a strong resistance against any future threats." A sense of pride washed over Alex. "I would help in any way I can." But he hesitated, the words catching in his throat. I also have to think about my home. I came here to rescue you, but I never planned to stay. Lyra's eyes darkened, and Alex felt a pang of guilt. I understand, she said quietly. But what if you could find a way to be part of both worlds? There must be a solution. Alex pondered her words. The idea of living between two worlds intrigued him. He had found a purpose here, a connection that felt deeper than anything he had known before. Yet the thought of leaving his old life behind was daunting. What if we could establish a relationship between Earth and Xantar 7? Lyra suggested, her voice rising with excitement. You could help us communicate with your people. Together, we could create alliances and protect both worlds. The vision she painted was tempting. Alex imagined traveling back and forth, bringing knowledge and resources to help Lyra and her people. It could work, he said slowly, the idea taking root in his mind. But it wouldn't be easy. I'm willing to take that risk, Lyra replied, her eyes shining with determination. If you are by my side, we can overcome any challenge. In that moment, Alex made his decision. He didn't have to choose between his old life and this new one. He could forge a path that combined both. All right, I'm in. Let's make this happen. Lyra's face lit up with joy, and Alex felt a weight lift from his heart. They would face the challenges ahead together, united in purpose. With renewed hope, he stepped forward, ready to embrace the future they would build. As the sun set behind them, they turned back toward their people, ready to lead the way into a brighter tomorrow. New beginnings. The days that followed the big battle were filled with excitement and hard work. Lyra and Alex worked side by side, building a new future for Xantar 7. The warriors and citizens united under Lyra's leadership, eager to rebuild their homes and strengthen their land. Together, they cleared the remnants of the Sithran attack, planting new seeds of hope in the rich soil. Alex felt a sense of purpose as he joined the people in their efforts. He taught them new techniques for defense and strategy, drawing from his experience on Earth. They built stronger walls around the village and set up watchtowers to protect against any future threats. The Xantorians listened eagerly, their eyes bright with determination. They had found a leader in Lyra and an ally in Alex, and together they formed a strong bond. One afternoon, as they rested after a long day of work, Lyra sat beside Alex on a grassy hill overlooking the village. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. Look at what we've built together, she said, smiling as she watched the villagers work. It's beautiful. It is, Alex agreed, his heart swelling with pride. But there's still so much to do. Lyra nodded, her expression thoughtful. We need to make sure our people are ready for anything. We cannot let fear rule us again. With that thought in mind, they organized training sessions for the warriors. Alex led these, showing them how to use weapons effectively and how to work as a team. They practiced every day, growing stronger and more confident. Lyra also took part, impressing everyone with her skill and courage. She was a natural leader, inspiring her people to fight for their future. One evening, as they gathered around a fire after training, Lyra shared her dreams for Xantar 7. I want our people to be united, not just in defense, but also in culture, she said. We need to celebrate our victories and remember our past. That sounds great, Alex replied. Maybe we could organize a festival. It could bring everyone together and lift their spirits. Lyra's eyes sparkled with excitement. Yes, a festival to celebrate our freedom and new beginnings. We can invite everyone from the surrounding areas. With that, they began planning the festival. The villagers buzzed with excitement as they prepared. They painted banners, gathered food, and planned performances. The energy in the village was electric. For the first time in a long while, laughter and joy filled the air. As the festival day approached, Alex found himself reflecting on his journey. He had come to Xantar 7 as a soldier, but he had discovered so much more. He had found friendship, love, and a place where he truly belonged. He no longer felt like an outsider. He was part of a a community that valued him. The day of the festival finally arrived. The village was transformed into a colorful celebration. People wore bright clothes and decorated their homes with flowers and ribbons. The smell of delicious food filled the air, and music echoed through the streets. Lyra stood on a small stage, her voice ringing out as she welcomed everyone. "Today we celebrate our victory and our future," she declared, her smile radiant. "Let us remember what we have fought for and what we will continue to build together." The crowd erupted in cheers, their voices mingling with the music. Alex felt a surge of pride as he watched Lyra shine. She was a true leader, and he was grateful to stand by her side. As the sun set and the stars began to twinkle in the sky, the villagers danced and celebrated. Alex held Lyra close, feeling the warmth of her presence. This was not just the end of a battle, it was the beginning of a new chapter. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, united in hope and strength. The future of Xantar 7 was bright, and Alex knew he was exactly where he belonged. The festival continued late into the night, filled with laughter, joy, and the promise of new beginnings.